Welcome to In the Stiffs podcast with me, Sam Aiston. I'm joined by my friends and former Shrewsbury teammates, Gavin Cowan and Dave Edwards.
Big thank you to our sponsors, the brilliant Budge & Motors, kindly sponsoring us in this third series. A family-owned business of 40 years with exceptional customer service. Loads of competitive deals on new and used cars. Get yourselves down there. Right, welcome everybody to another episode of In the Stiffs. Happy New Year, the first episode of the new year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
If you're watching on YouTube, we've got some Christmas mugs there. Three In the Stiffs.
Thank you, Lynette.
If you're just listening on a podcast, that's not working so well.
Basically, they're three cups with our faces on.
Of an incredibly handsome curly-haired man in the middle, and then two thorns either side. Apparently, this is the 47th episode. 47 episodes, Dave.
People are still listening.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully.
That's ongoing, though, isn't it?
Do we definitely know that people are still listening, or we're out on a whim?
Whit says they are.
This is the
48th
episode. Wow. We're going to have something special for our 50th, won't we?
Well, from what I'm hearing as well, there's a lot of people still listening, and a lot of people loving the Drew Broughton episode.
Just quickly on Drew Broughton before we get started. I've had loads of good feedback about that from people who have enjoyed listening to it, who wouldn't normally listen to our stuff. I've had our staff from school have all listened to it. You know, they're not interested in the football silly stories, but they're interested in that mindset.
It's deep, and I think anyone at all who listens to it will get some value out of it.
Yeah, I agree.
100% when they in the way they perceive their life, their attitude towards their own jobs and things like that. But also, as a parent, I find it massively helpful.
Loads of my staff, again, like who ordinarily probably wouldn't look to our podcast for entertainment, they're very much on it and seen a couple of the snippets on social media and then gone to listen, and same thing, really enjoyed it.
I think I've even altered my mindset a little bit, just with, like, you know, my little ones playing football as well, just, you know, seeing time play with freedom, and it is, how do you maintain that freedom, you know, as you get older? And I think it's so difficult. And when I'm watching players now, and I watch them just playing safe sometimes, and I think, that's what, they're not in that place, are they, that Drew talked about?
They weren't like that at 17, 18 when they break into the first team, are they? It's kind of...
Drew's on social media this morning with a video. Like everybody should definitely follow all of his social media, and he's got a snippet of Rio Ferdinand talking about Sven-Goran Eriksson, saying to him, "My centre halves don't
Capello,
dribble."
wasn't it? Capello.
No, it was Eriksson. Yeah.
Sven said to Rio, didn't he?
Yeah, my centre halves don't dribble, and Drew's saying, "Well, that's ridiculous because he used to dribble better than some wingers, didn't he, Rio?" So surely you play to, as having a game philosophy, but surely you play to some of your players' strengths.
Yeah, and it's not doing it in a disrespectful way, because Alex Ferguson, he was saying, the best manager in the world by a mile, brought you to Manchester United to do that.
Yeah, so and he was incredibly successful. But there is a balance, though, isn't there? Like, what do you do? Because there is an element where, you know, you look at some of the, like the Williams sisters, how they were pushed by their father and how they were supported, and then there is the balance of going, look, you know, I'm going to hold you accountable to be the best you can be, fulfil your potential, but then equally go out there and play with freedom. I don't know, it's a tough balance, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, team sport's more difficult, I think, in terms of go and be yourself, but then you've got to fit into a team. The individual sports you can do yourself, can't you?
Yeah.
I love his term, the healthy disrespect. I've kind of thought about that a lot, and you aren't
basically been us, hasn't it, for 20 years?
you aren't being disrespectful to the system or to your manager or whatever, but you kind of say, no, this is who I am.
He makes the point, doesn't he, Drew? He said you still play within a structure, so when you pick your team, Gav, you know, you might have a couple of people who are playing with a bit more freedom, but you're expecting sort of, you know, to reasonably hold their position. But like Drew said, they're not stupid. They know how to play. You know, if you're a 25-year-old footballer, you know your job, don't you? If you're right wing, you know you've got to get back sometimes. You've got to track the winger. You know when the cross is coming from the other side, you've got to get on the back post. You know all that.
I think that's the balance that I'll say to my players. This is our philosophy. This is how we play in and out of possession. And then, but it's rule of thumb. Yeah. Because obviously, if you're, let's say, a left wing back and you're cutting in, and you see that picture, there's 1,000 pictures there. So you can't accommodate for all pictures. So I just say, look, this is our philosophy. This is how we want to be able to predict the future of what the person on the ball is going to do. But then ultimately, it's a rule of thumb. So we trust you to be able to go and do what you feel is right.
Hard to play with no fear, though, is it? When it's your job, isn't it?
But you see,
online, it's so public, isn't
on the coach on the way to games, when you're pulling into the ground, and you sit in the stadium and you're pulling in the gates and you see the fans there sort of already by the players' entrance, and then you sort of like, oh, how am I going to cope today?
Yeah.
And give the ball away first 2 times. And
Miss 4 headers.
You're playing in front of, I don't know, however many thousands.
It's weird.
You're rubbish.
Isn't it weird when you're in football, though, you're going through it and you're having all these battles all the time, and once you're out of it, like, I know you're managing, but from a playing point of view, if you're out of it, and you can see it happening to people, though, can't you? You can clearly, obviously see, you can watch some of the biggest Premier League games on Super Sunday, and you're watching, you think, he's going through that now, he's nervous. Doesn't want to give the ball away, he's playing safe, and you can see it a mile off, and you just want to say, nah, just go and be yourself. But it's so hard when you are that player in the moment, not wanting to let your team down.
It's really refreshing for me this week. I had the fortune of sitting down with a couple of our supporters. Almost, it was like quite sort of spontaneous, but ended up being like almost like a little mini fans forum type thing. And we were just like chewing the fat, having a coffee, and it was so interesting from their perspective. Obviously, supporters, it's like we're quite as players, you're quite critical of supporters because they're very impulsive and, you know, they say what's the first thing that comes into them. But ultimately, like, I think something we have to remember is they don't have all the ingredients to the cake, do they? They why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? Why is he sub unused? What's going on there? And it's like, well, you know, he's lost someone this week. He's not in the right frame of mind, and actually he picked up a niggle on Thursday, and it's like they don't know that, do they? So it's almost like you have to have a little bit of empathy both sides, don't you, to understand that they can never really know what's going on behind the scenes, can they? So you as a football club, you should communicate more, I suppose, shouldn't you?
Yeah,
try to, but it's difficult.
Especially, but I suppose when there's 50,000 fans coming in, you're not going to be able to communicate with all of them. And there's a lot of things that supporters can't know. Sometimes it's personal, isn't it?
And
sometimes
people don't want to know, do they? You know, someone splitting up with their partner or something like that. You don't want 50,000 people to know that, do you?
No.
It was funny when you were just saying about that playing with fear. Like, I notice that all the time, especially with wingers, because I watch the wingers, and you see the wingers and they keep getting it. They just take them on, and they keep passing up them opportunities, and I think, too easy, isn't it, just to come back? And I know, say, people like Pep will to recycle the ball. I think so many times people just pass up that opportunity. You think you're playing with fear. Almiron was a bit like that last night. I went watching Newcastle play Chelsea, watching Almiron, and I was thinking, like, he's nervous. He's having a bad time. He's given the ball away a few times, and he's got it again. He's just passing the ball like 3 yards just to try and get his confidence. I'm not blaming him for it, but it's just what to do.
But you naturally see it because it's a winger. Like, I'm exactly the same with midfielders. When I see a midfielder,
I'm exactly the same with subs.
But when a midfielder gets the ball, and you can see if you're up in the stands watching on TV, there's a forward pass on. But it's a little bit tight, but it's a game-changing pass, do you know what I mean? But then they'll just keep it and go sideways, and that's a player playing with a little bit.
But it's funny as well, isn't it? When like, first thing you say is go and win your first header. Everything, like a lot of the vocabulary when you're going into a game from when I played was quite safe. You know, complete your first pass, get your first tackle in. Like all these, like, instead of like, go and enjoy yourself. Go and enjoy yourself.
On the back of that, I read, I think it was on Instagram or something, and it was a scout for, I can't remember, the top European club. It was like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona or something. And they said, what do you look for in kids when you watch them? He says there's 3 things. He says the number 1 thing is early on in the game, I want to see how brave they are. Like, are they going to take on? I don't want to see players who are being safe. I want them straight from that very first minute. I want to see them trying to take someone on, make a pass, do something different. And there's a lot to be said about it. Because I was always that. If I wanted to complete my first pass in every single game,
always
win my first battle, and it kind of gets you going. But really,
that's why everybody goes, oh, you know, he didn't give the ball away today. And you're like, that's great. Obviously, he didn't give the ball away. But like people like Steven Gerrard and Rooney would give the ball away because they're trying to thread the ball. If you just go sideways, like left and right, you can do 80 passes. You know, they show the centre-halves to add like 85 passes, 84 completed, but he's rolled the ball to his other centre-half and got the ball back. Well, if you're on the number 10, you've given the ball away like 30% of the time.
It's a calculated risk, isn't it? I say to my players, if you pass the ball sideways or backwards and it's getting intercepted, we've got a problem. If you're playing the ball forwards, it's a calculated risk. So sometimes I've had to turn around to my own bench this year and go, lads, like, relax. Like, try to play a ball there. All right. Players can't do that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times over because then they're going to lose their place. But in one isolated moment, if he's got the ball back foot and he's gone, right, I'm going to try a reverse pass and it gets intercepted, like he's in the final third. Like so even
be a goal.
Yeah, it could be. Like
De Bruyne does it, doesn't he? Like De Bruyne does sometimes give the ball away a lot, but he could just try and he's trying to make a goal.
Yeah.
If that comes off, it's a goal for Haaland, isn't it?
and you can definitely say Pep's encouraging him to do that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, and the reason he has got the freedom to do that is the reason he will every now and again pick one out and you just go, oh my, what is that? Like, that's incredible.
But you don't see that. Well, you certainly might see, but he's probably done 2 or 3 that have been cut out. But he doesn't stop. Whereas if I've hit 2 passes and both 2 of them have been cut out, I'm going,
Oh no.
I am rolling this back to someone.
And you do rely on everybody being on the same wavelength because Wilson's coach at Shrewsbury said to me on Monday night, he said, just love, like, I always say to him, son, like, get the ball off the goalkeeper and just try and play through lines. That's centre-halves now, that's what they want to do. So I said, I don't care if you give it away, try not to obviously, but just get the ball off the keeper and just try and start the play. So he does that, and what was really nice the other night, Wilson's coach came over and he went, I just love how he gets it off the keeper, but it relies on him seeing the benefit in that and not going, right, no, don't do that, let's get up the pitch. And so everybody's got to be on the same wavelength.
Which you will give it away
Yeah.
because he's a kid, or you know, if you're a professional, give it away and then they score. Don't do that, don't do that. I was at my little kid's game the other day and the keeper got the ball and he's booted it out of his hands. It's took one bounce and then bounced over the other goal. And one of the coaches said, great kick! I was like, he's literally kicked it, like, the whole length of the pitch has just gone out for a goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, could you not have just rolled that? Could you not have passed that to the side and played a little bit of football? Anyway, great kick, that! I was like, oh, is that a great kick? It's a long kick.
Yeah, it's
a long kick.
It's a
great kick.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Anyway, we are in Bowbrook Primary School, my place of work, even though we're broken up. It's, you like it, lad? You've only been in the hall, haven't you? Haven't shown you around yet.
It's got a feel of absolute amazement, isn't it? Like, it's so good, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible.
So good. Facilities are
The
frightening.
primary school, just absolutely insane.
I'm going to give you a little tour after. Take you in the office.
Yeah.
Show you around.
Mate, it's incredible, honestly. It is mad, isn't it? Because when you think of, like, when I was at primary school, I mean, it was a world away. Like, the facilities that you've got here, the technology, like, how the kids must feel coming in here and the parents dropping them off. It's, like, again, you might feel the same. Even now, like, sometimes you drop your kids off, I hope they'll be all right today. And, like, they always are, aren't they? But you come in here and you're looking around.
I'd be a little bit worried it's a Wednesday morning, though, and their teacher sat here doing a podcast.
yeah. Morning, everyone. Morning, all right?
Getting on YouTube, yeah. No swearing, lads.
Yeah.
Well, we were primary school. We used to play with a tennis ball. Do you know what you
Yeah.
tennis ball?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was good. I wonder if that didn't seem to have my touch very much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There was so many people playing on the playground, though. You probably only got one touch, didn't you?
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I think Christmas is a suitable time to look at our predictions from the start of the season. Remember when we did the predictions?
Yep.
And obviously you two hadn't done any prep.
No.
Surprise, so it took ages. And
I didn't even know we were doing this today.
you said Man City first and second. I think Dave said.
Yeah.
Dave said Man City first, Arsenal second.
Luton.
Wolves third,
Luton.
fourth, Shrewsbury fifth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, let's just start with. So we all said Man City top. Are you sticking by that? Are you happy? Think Man City will still win it, guys?
I still think they're in third gear. I still think, and I don't know whether it's a conscious thing, but I think he's being very cute around players, who's playing at what time. He's got a great squad, hasn't he? So I think they'll only, in the new year, I think they'll kick on.
You still think they'll win it?
Yeah, I think they'll accelerate now.
So you're locking that in. You're sticking with your Man City first. What about you, Dave?
Well, we can actually change them. No, we'll stick to them. But I don't. I think they'll struggle now. I think with last season it was just Arsenal ahead of them, and when you've got one team to get after, the nerves can creep in. But Liverpool are there as well, and I just feel that with both of them,
How bad Liverpool though? I think.
So you think Man City will struggle now?
Not struggle. I don't think they'll win. If I was putting a bet on today, are Man City going to win the league? I would say Arsenal.
Have a bet then.
I'm all over that. Are we allowed to gamble?
You have Man City.
We don't want to promote gambling on the podcast, do we?
No.
Pub and do it.
Meal.
Yeah.
We'll pay for the meal. Who
I'm
you go?
flabbergasted you
Pay
say
for a
that.
meal.
I'm flabbergasted you say that.
I'm gonna.
Can we go for your prediction? Because it's...
Yeah, that's the first time it's given a bit of time. Last time you took ages.
He's got Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle.
So I'm going to agree with Dave. I'm going to think Arsenal are going to win it.
That's good. So I'm betting both of you two then.
Yeah. So if Arsenal win it, you've got to pay for a meal. if Man City win it, me and Dave will split it.
Do Arsenal win the league every week? You two don't get anything. Where's Dave? The bill? Oh, thanks for the bill. Yeah, Dave.
From the crossbar account, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know it's sponsored by Budget, but I thought it was sponsored by Crossbar.
Yeah, unofficially.
Right, so changed it. You're sticking with Man City. Good for
Yeah.
you, that, Gav. You stick by it, don't you?
I just think they're going to accelerate now. I think like there's players in the squad as well that haven't really had a massive opportunity, got going yet, and I think they've just got, you know, De Bruyne is due to come back soon. He's on the verge, isn't he?
So we've all said Arsenal second, but obviously you're going to stick with that then?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that, yeah.
Me and Dave have flipped that. Then we all said Liverpool third. Unfortunately, I think that's probably going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. They're having a good season. I think they'll push the...
Rubbish. Did you watch the Man U rubbish, I thought?
Yeah, really bad.
Disappointing.
This is where the football knowledge comes out here, I think.
Yeah, the lack of.
So Dave...
No one's got the top four right, let's be honest.
Before the season started, you've said Newcastle, Gav. I've said Man U. Dave said Tottenham.
Villa.
Man United ain't doing it.
So basically, Dave's got that right.
Yeah, Spurs are fifth, aren't they, at the moment? Because no one obviously went for Aston Villa, which is the shock to everyone. But Spurs, I think they're so unlucky not to have more points as well. They went for that losing run. They've obviously got lots of injuries. But they took the lead in like every single one of those games.
Yeah, big change around though, isn't it? Like when you have a lot of changes at a club, like takes time for things to gel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
I just go back to when we interviewed Joe, and he was speaking about Ange and the way he spoke about it, I just thought that like it'll work for him. And then with the signings they made, I thought were very good.
He's class though, isn't he? Like if you can imagine going for a pint with him and him being like good value, aren't you? Like he's real, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well?
The thing is,
he's not just in a little football bubble. He looks like he can step outside, and he's got like a worldwide view, hasn't he?
His football knowledge is incredible, but he's hyper intelligent emotionally, isn't he? Yeah. He sees the players for like human beings, doesn't he? Like sort of when he talks about them, he's like literally like you say, you could be sat in a pub with him. Yeah. You know, when he's at a press conference, he's like, "Yeah, mate," like you know.
That was a good accent.
I'm good at accents.
But I remember Joe was saying that like this is before, and we didn't know anything about Ange, really, did we? No. Do you know what I mean? But he was saying that you have to be so brave to play under him, which comes you can see it now where we're watching it more and more often. And he said they will make mistakes, but he says that the fans have to buy into it. Yeah. I felt like Spurs were at a place at that point where they were disillusioned with Conte, Mourinho, all their ex-managers, and then they've got someone now I think they can really just hang down.
The timing's perfect, isn't it? Yeah. It's like, and the components aren't they? Like you've got the playing and the management staff, the people at the staff at the football club who run the club, and then the supporters, and it does just feel like that sort of trio of sort of, you know, connectivity there is perfect, isn't it?
Well, that Chelsea game where they refused to drop these, mate.
I'm halfway like, it was like Holland back in the day when they were running out on the offside track.
Late run and you're in.
Even the lads, must have been, it was Eric Dyer or something. They must have been thinking, what am I doing on this halfway line? Yeah,
he's on the halfway line and Andrew's going, get up, squeeze.
Eric's looking over like that, going, I'm in trouble here. This goes in behind. I'm not catching Sterling and Jackson and all them. No chance. I'm in trouble.
Brilliant.
How brave is that though, is it? The fans buy into it. And we might get spanked sometimes.
With 9 men.
With 9 men. But I think that's, it's great to see your manager being brave. And if then he turns out he was a player and he starts saying, take people on, play that pass, and he does the same.
So is it brave or is it just kamikaze? Because I know like Jamie Carragher came out, didn't he, and say he said he thinks like it's great to see and all of that, but entertainment. But you're talking about businesses here, football clubs.
Well, he's buying into the whole ethos of it. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to play.
Fortune favours the brave, doesn't it?
We're going to play on the front foot, and if it doesn't work out, it's not for like the want of having a right go and you've done things your way. If it doesn't work out and you think, I've sort of took a step back from what I believe in, you're disappointed with yourself. If you've given it everything, you've done it your way and it doesn't work out, well, you hold your head up.
He's not doing it just to be brave, is he?
No.
There's a purpose to it. He's doing it so we've got more bodies higher up the pitch to go and win the ball back.
And the reality is they had 2 players sent off, so they wouldn't have done that otherwise. They've not done that since. And what he thought was, well, we can sit in here and just get absolutely pumped, or what we'll do is we'll stand on the halfway and we'll flip it, which, to be honest, I think confused Chelsea for 15 minutes. They didn't know, and in the end was going, are they actually going to score here? Because they were just all going,
Tottenham had 2 really good chances.
At
1-1. 2 really good chances, or 2-1.
Yeah, and it just turns on those moments, doesn't it? It's one of them goes in, suddenly everyone's going, what a genius.
Yeah.
What a genius.
Absolutely.
And everyone's trying to do it. Every time they lose, they get a player sent
Feel
off.
that pain.
So I think with Dave, to be honest, Dave... so Dave's looking good for that then, isn't he? So, looking at that, who's in the lead at the moment? Who would you say is in the lead? It's going to have to be Dave, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Dave?
Tottenham.
Yeah, just Tottenham
isn't
5th,
it?
and Man
We've
United,
also
Newcastle.
gone Man City, Newcastle. I was like, Man United, Newcastle struggling, aren't
Liverpool, yeah. Newcastle, yeah.
they? Man United are rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, Man United are gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Newcastle struggling with injuries.
Yeah, just got.
But they've got no European football now, have they?
Yeah,
So
they haven't got enough though at the moment. Like,
So I feel for Chelsea because they're playing really well, aren't they? They're like,
I watched Raheem Sterling play. He was incredible.
Yeah.
He's just, and he talked about.
it'll turn for them. I think that's another one where they've had a big turnover of players.
Yeah.
It'll turn for them.
He talked about Raheem Sterling as well. Thinking about that Drew Porton podcast, and he just seems to be playing with so much freedom. Gets it. His first touch is positive. He's trying to take people on. Then I was watching him the other night against Newcastle, and he just goes wandering. So he's like, he goes drifting into like different areas and stuff. So he's like, he just seems to be, you know, he's sort of doing what you want.
Yeah.
He just seems to be playing with such freedom. I mean, he's got to get back in the England squad. And how old is he? Shall we? But I might check that before I come out with it. 'Cause I mean, I'm sure he's in.
About 18, is he? 18 or
I was going to say
39? Is he?
I was going to say 42.
Yeah, he's something like that. Yeah, we normally go off guesswork on this show, don't we?
Right, moving on to clubs that we have a vested interest in. Obviously, Dave's with his Wolves glasses on again. What did Dave say Wolves are going to be? What did he say they were going to win?
Champions
They were
League.
the Champions League.
Champions League, yeah. And the World Cup. And the Euros coming up, he said they win that.
How do you feel? What's your assessment of Wolves so far, Dave? This will get pinched, by the way, from Wolves TV, won't it? So whatever you see now.
Yeah.
I think it's been really, really positive this season because I think a lot of people had them down to be sort of in the bottom 4 or 5 teams, one of the favourites to be in the relegation zone after the teams which have been promoted. Losing the manager 4 or 5 days before the season. Gary O'Neill, very unpopular choice when he came in with the fans. And he's done amazing. They've been unlucky in games. No, the VAR has been horrendous. But Wolves, the last 2 years beforehand, under Julien Lopetegui and Bruno Lage, just do not look like scoring goals. They're absolutely toothless in the final third. Don't create enough chances, never test the goalkeeper. Scored less than a goal a game last year, I think it was, the stats. Whereas Gary O'Neill with a far weaker squad, no Ruben Neves, no João Moutinho, no Traore, no Jimenez, no... who else has gone? Mateus Nunes. And the centre-half's gone.
That's 5 proper players,
you know
there,
what I mean?
isn't
So
it?
like losing all those players and hasn't been able to replace them because of financial fair play. But he's got the teams playing a lot more attacking football now, and they look so much better.
How come he's done that, Gary O'Neill? Because like, when you say a job, you think, oh, is that job going to be too big for him? Like how's he done so well?
Well, I think he's very, very grateful for the opportunity he's got, and he's like grabbing it with both hands. It's a huge,
player, but not a top player.
No, but for Gary O'Neill, it's a massive job, isn't it? And if he does well there, then it's just absolutely.
He'll be insane to it, won't he?
Skyrockets.
He'll be insane to day-to-day work there, won't he? And he won't be leaving a stone unturned. I think, again, he's quite personable because he's relatively young.
Yeah.
He's relevant. Yeah, I think he's relevant. I think the players have bought into that. I wasn't a big fan of him because he worked at Bournemouth, didn't he, with Scott Parker? And I don't know what went on there, but when Scott Parker left, he took the job. Yeah. And I don't like that. I think if you go with someone, you leave with them. But he won me over because I think like he did some analysis the other week.
I see what you mean there. So obviously, you think the assistant should go with you?
Yeah, I think you should go with him. Yeah, I know it's an opportunity, and I get maybe Scott.
If you get sacked from Brackley,
You're going to go in for it. Yeah. Can we not mention that sentence, please? Yeah, I'll take the job. Yeah. Would you like to be the head here? Yeah, definitely. Have you spoke to Sam? No. Yeah.
I've watched Wolves a lot this season though, and tactically he's very, very good. Like he's, and I've heard from the inside as well that he's like on another level of his detail, which is good. People who've been on the coaching course with him as well said like he was the standout one in the coaching courses on the A licence, pro licence, all that sort of stuff. But I think the biggest thing he's done, he kind of reconnected the fans with the club. You can see them that he's very much one of them, and they've embraced him, the way he celebrates, the way he tries to get the
Do
team
you think that's
going,
him being English? Do you think that might be play a part? Young, English?
Possibly, but I think it's more just the way he's got the team playing. He's got them playing attacking football. He switched quite early to 3 at the back or 5 at the back, which can be seen as a negative all through the end of Nuno's era at Wolves and then into Bruno Lage. It was like, we need to bin 5 at the back, it's too negative. But the way he plays it is very, very positive. Very quick on the counter. The one big thing he struggled with is losing Pedro Neto because he was insane. Like, he was so good. But he's got them playing attacking football, scoring goals, creating chances. It's going to be inconsistent because of the team they've got, but hopefully they can start to look at buying some players in January.
I think it's helped him in some ways, hasn't it, with the VAR and stuff, though, hasn't it? Because I think it sort of brought them all together, hasn't it?
Yeah,
you know, and it's
that
like
siege mentality,
going,
isn't it?
Oh, like, everyone's against us, and he's like, oh, we're getting no decisions. So they've all sort of got themselves rallied around, like what Ferguson used to do with Man United, didn't he?
Yeah.
The world's against
Hard done
us.
by.
Here's a good one. On the VAR stuff, here's a good one, because he came out after the Fulham game, and he said, like, I've been very calm about it so far, but I'll go in, I'll speak to the referees, they'll tell me the same stuff. I don't make a fuss about it, don't want to get fined. But at what point of you, if it was Alex Ferguson, if it was Jose Mourinho, that they'd come out and absolutely slaughter them, that could affect decisions, couldn't it? Do you know the pressure's on the VAR, on Howard Webb.
Yeah.
Do you think it plays against him as a manager that he's probably been quite nice about it?
Yeah, and I think it definitely counts against you. You're just not a big enough name. I think if Pep starts shouting and screaming and kicking up a fuss, I think, they take more notice. I think it's impossible, again.
Arteta did, didn't he? Do you remember Arteta did?
Yeah, referees not to be a little bit intimidated. I think Ferguson definitely. Yeah. Referees were intimidated by him. I think it's hard not to.
I think at the end of the day, referees are human, aren't they? So if you come out shouting the odds, undoubtedly they're going to go, well, I'll show you. They shouldn't, because the professionalism should be through the roof. But then if you are quiet about it, they think, well, you're soft touch. So how do you win as a manager?
Yeah.
I've had it this year. Like we had at Brackley, we've had some without doing the whole woe is me, some horrendous decisions, like in both penalty boxes. Yeah. I had one where I had a female referee who, like, one of our lads, he basically got cut in half.
I've seen that tackle.
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? And that's probably one of about 7 in both boxes that have gone forward against us that should go the other way. I mean, it's become. I've never seen anything like it. It's been laughable. But when I spoke to the referee after, she was like, I absolutely look at it, no problem. And I had a good conversation with her, and I was saying to her, problem is it's too late now. And I get it, you're going to get some things wrong, but we worked so hard all week to get that. Yeah. That one for me is blatant and clear. And she was almost like, okay, no, I understand that, and you can work with it a bit. But again, it's such an easy decision. Yeah. Then I had another referee that it was our keeper just got absolutely wiped out, winning 1-0. Our own fault, really. We should have been out of sight. Keeper comes to he absolutely wipes him out, taps it in the goal. I mean, there's never been a clearer free kick in your life. And he's like, afterwards, he's like, no, your goalkeeper's got to be stronger. He's got to be this and proper. And I'm like going, whoa, talk properly, show some manners. And it's like either way, they're going, oh, well, I'll look at it, but at the end of the day, the decision's made. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a terrible decision. I get the ones that are sort of, on the periphery. Listen, they're human. Referees are going to make mistakes. It's just the ones that I don't understand are the blatant ones. And then, so you come to the rules, and you go, right, well, we had a penalty, and the rules are that if there's a handball, and it's his hand's within the vicinity of his body and it's less than 2 yards away, it's not a handball, because obviously he can't do anything about it. So obviously that's happened to us. Yeah. We played South Shields, Julio Arca, by the way, real class act. After, he was just like, what a class act he is as well. And he was just like, it's farcical, it's ridiculous. And we're 1-0 up. I think they were top at the time. We're sort of comfortable, and then that happens, and you say to the referee, and he's like, he's not even willing to look at it. But then again, even if he looks at it, it's over, it's done. They're not going to change it.
I think it's hard having the conversation. I mean, they're all different, aren't they? But sometimes when they're like that and they dig their heels in, I know it doesn't help saying sorry, but if you get it wrong, I just say, sorry, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, but that's what happens sometimes, isn't it?
It's gone now, I can't apologise enough.
You, the manager's got some stuff wrong, just like some of your players have got it wrong.
And on the flip side...
But I'd rather that than go, no, and be like...
Well, I had a referee Saturday, come out the changing room at half-time, ready, and there's a referee waiting. Gavin, just quickly, I got that one wrong, the one there. Basically, one of their players was injured, but not really injured, no head injury or anything like that, and he stopped the game. Yeah. And we were a bit like, what are you stopping the game for? It's not a head injury or anything like that. And at half-time, he was waiting for me. He went, sorry, I got that one wrong, just absolute blew my mind. Had a brain fart, and I was like, okay, no problem. Thanks for coming to see me. You think, class act, real class act. He was good actually.
Still call him every name.
Yeah, still went for him. Yeah, still went for him. As he was walking away, still tripped him up from behind. Yeah.
On the floor, but appreciate the fact he fronted up.
Still clipped his heels as he was walking away.
Moving on to Preston as well. I mean, they've been in a bit of bad form. Preston haven't they recently? It's funny because when we watched them, David and me, and they're like rock solid, and like, I mean, you went. What was your prediction for that? You both said playoffs, didn't you? I'm sure you did. I said outside. So actually, I think I'm.
What did I say for Wolves?
Still a long way to go, though.
For Wolves, you said like top half.
No, I definitely didn't say top half. Definitely didn't say top half.
Don't get the footage of Dave saying Wolves.
I definitely didn't say top half.
Thing is, there's still a long way to go, isn't there? Like, you know, like there's like you gather momentum, you go into a bit of a dip, you gather momentum, you go like everything's going to change between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, of course.
You need to say.
And in the Premier League with the African nations this year as well.
Oh, mate.
You need to say, Dave, what position you think Wolves will come then, because we'll clip that and send it to Wolves.
I think Wolves will finish 11th. Yeah.
Bit negative.
That'll be a headline on Wolves. I'm going to tag them in, say how negative ex-players criticising the club.
But that would be like you just said there.
Season,
like you think about all of the players they've lost, not being able to recuperate because of the financial fair play. To come 11th, that would be a big achievement, wouldn't it?
Nice for the fans as well.
Building blocks to start moving forward again.
I love going there. We obviously we've got the tickets there, haven't we?
It's tough for them living in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get Dave to come up with a quote. Or something.
Dave's like, it's a shithole, yeah. No, cut.
Dave Edwards says,
Great people.
Anyway, so what I was saying, Preston, funny enough, they played well. They started well the other week, but and lost 5-1. I just think, again, Preston have struggled from getting such a good start in the season that when you slip away, all the fans are like, "Oh, what's happened? It's all gone pear-shaped."
Yeah.
Whereas if it's the other way around.
Yeah. It's budget though, isn't it? Again, it's budget. Like in that league, the players who are getting paid the most are the best players, and they'll do the best. I know you're obviously you.
There's a yes and a no because there's no way Ipswich have got they'll have one of the worst budgets in the league.
I'm not in total.
One of the worst.
Not one of the worst. They won't be in the. I'll be very surprised in the top half.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
I think like it has to go hand in hand. You have to have a footballing philosophy. You have to have a strategy. You have to have like what we were saying there. You have to have fans on board, people behind the scenes on board. You have to have the players on board. There's a lot of components that go into success.
Momentum, they've got momentum.
I think Ange said it the other day, didn't he? I think he literally said, "Oh no, it wasn't. It was Pochettino," and he was like, in order to be successful, things have to be perfect. You have to be able to hit the ground running. You have to have a good football philosophy, good players. You have to have good people behind the scenes. You have to have, preparation has to be right. You know, if they're not staying in the right hotels or they're not doing and you might laugh, but because everybody's trying to get them extra 1% now, if you don't do it, you fall behind. You do.
I think that all adds to, I suppose, looking after the lads a bit, doesn't it? I suppose, which leadership, I suppose, is how you get being a good leader is how you get the best out of other people.
The Man United's players will be on an awful lot of money, and they're not the best.
No, but I just think if you look at whoever wins the leagues, and you looked at their budget, I mean, I'm sure every graph in the league would be pretty much going that way, wouldn't it? I would imagine.
But again, though, like the budget is like you've got the playing budget, and then you've got the budget to do all the other bits as well. Like, and again, it's like a business, isn't it? You know, a business might turn over, I don't know, £1 million, another one might turn over £100 million. But in terms of productivity, what's going on behind the scenes? Like, is training right? Are they preparing right? You know, we knew it at Gainsborough. It was a big old wage bill there, and you had proper, very, very good players, like who shouldn't really have been at the level, who couldn't pass water because things just weren't being done right. Yeah. You know, it was farcical at times, wasn't it? And I think that's probably a good example. Yeah. I think like a budget
if you get both, if you've got a good budget with good players and then you've got a good culture, good football for all those things, that's where you might get in the Championship, a Leicester, for instance. Sort of
and budget and playing budget are two different things.
Which can you get us some graphs of the leagues, please, and the budget? And I'm pretty sure throughout the leagues, the ones who get paid the most will be top of the league and would have been for the last forever. Can you get me statistics?
And we could argue the toss all day, and Sam will still finish with that sentence.
Can one of our listeners tell me whereabouts whereabouts are Ipswich in
Leicester
the
when they won the
budgets?
Premier League?
No, Dave's trying to look at an anomaly to disprove that my theory there. Like, Ipswich are doing well, but in general, the more money you get, the higher. The more
When Leicester won the Premier League, they had more money than Man City. Didn't
And
they?
obviously, Luton getting promoted last season, they had one of the best budgets in the Champ, didn't they?
We can cite specific examples, but I can have the data since football existed, please, and we're looking at it as a whole.
You can concede, you know that, don't you?
Just like, and then, in 1923, Port Vale got Division 2.
Yeah.
Like, and they were the 7th highest budget.
I mean, we have pulled out about 8 examples.
Yeah, general trends.
I mean,
looking at.
I know you can hear us, but I'm not sure you're listening.
I'll definitely be proven right on that. I mean, can we then put it on all our social media sites?
Well, it's now I want you to get them. Now I want you to get the graphs now.
Yeah.
He's got 5 minutes. Moving on to Shrewsbury, because they've actually picked up a little bit. I know they got spanked the other week, didn't they? But they're doing all right.
Oh, I've heard nothing but getting beat 3-0 by Portsmouth. They're top of the league. They're an incredible team.
Budget.
Yeah, I don't think they've got a lot of dough in that. They've got a great culture though at Portsmouth. But I hear so much negativity around Shrewsbury. I'm like, they've only had 25. At the end of the day, at Brackley at the moment, we are very dominant in games, in and out of possession, and we're not winning the games that we should. Like, we played Alfreton away, wasn't a lot of football played. We won 1-0. I'd take that all day. I think Shrewsbury are just in a bit of a thing at the moment. Are they the best team in the league? No. Are they a top half team? No. You've got to win games, and if that means sitting on the edge of your box and hitting them on the counter or waiting for a set piece, you've got to play to your strengths. And I know that's not what supporters want to hear or see.
Such a huge transition year, and this might be a bit outdated by the time it comes out, but as of before the Portsmouth game, I was looking at some stats, and they were, last season was a raving success, wasn't it? All the fans were really on board, amazing success.
Amazing success is.
No, everyone was really happy. They were really disappointed.
Well, they finished 12th, 13th.
12th, yeah. But before the Portsmouth game, though, I looked at the stats, and they were 2 points off worse than what they were last season, which isn't a big difference. And then if you go on points per game right the way through the season, so you kind of predicted forward, they'd finish on exactly the same points as what they did last year. Yeah. They're in the third round of the FA Cup. Yeah.
In such a transitional year. And there was a lot of people last year, Dave.
And you look at the players they've lost, Luke Leahy, Phillips, the boy on loan, he was unbelievable. Christian Sadie. Who else has gone? There's about 4 or 5 I was looking at.
They've got to keep Daniel in January. That's got to be their priority.
Yeah, but they haven't. But I was going to say they haven't replaced those players at all. Do you know what I mean? They've taken punts on lads from Ireland and bringing in players with injury history and stuff like that. So it might not be the prettiest to watch all the time.
But again, like last year, it's like Cotterill, old school manager. You know, we've got to get out. We want something fresh. Director of football, young manager. All of that's been presented. You've got to give it time. Like, when you have changes in a football club, you have to give things time.
Just don't give time, do they, fans?
No, but again, that's not reason or logic, is it? Like, you can't.
I've been to a few games here, and it is a tough watch at times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
They have to sit on the edge of the box and trying to be hard to beat. And like, I was at Portsmouth at the weekend, and as soon as Portsmouth score, that's the kind of game plan out the window then. Do you know what I mean? Because you're sitting and waiting for set pieces, you've got to come out. So I understand the frustration because fans are paying their money to go and watch football. But would you prefer us to be gung-ho and losing every week? They need to get through this season and then hopefully finish sort of mid-table, not be anywhere near the relegation zone, and then you can start to build again then.
I think we all predicted quite similar, didn't we? Sort of below middle. I think I'd stick with that, wouldn't they? 14th, something like that.
Yeah, 14th, 15th. And I think I know, again, they're not going to want to hear it, but... And then next year will be the pressure year. Yeah. That's when you go, right, you've had time now.
Yeah. I think he looks a bit safer with his job now, doesn't he, than what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
And moving on to Brackley then.
Before we go on to Brackley, how exciting is it the FA Cup tie as well?
Oh, my days.
It's one of the first times I've been really envious of not playing anymore, because I used to love that game, Shrewsbury Wrexham. I'd love to play in that.
That's exciting.
What are we doing for tickets?
Sorted, yeah.
Are you getting
sorted, yeah.
That's good. Do we have to pay or are we getting free?
Well, I'll have to pay, and then you'll probably go,
Crossbar.
yeah, there's a point for them tickets there. I'll be like, oh, they're selling pints for like 90 quid now. Sam.
Are we all going together? Are you doing comedy, Dave? Are we all?
Jack's coming with us, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you're commentating on the game?
Yeah.
You're commentating, and we'll be down there.
Why are you commentating? Why have you been asked to commentate, not me, when I play for both?
Oh, that is.
Why is that?
Oh,
Who's that?
you played for Wales. You played for Wales, didn't you?
In the Euros.
Yeah.
Couple of times.
Oh, you played in the Euros. Yeah. Oh, right.
Who asked you to commentate?
S4C are covering it. So,
So
it's Welsh channel.
Yeah.
That's why.
I don't want to comment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, quality. Great game though. That'll be like really exciting. Literally across the way.
Absolutely
Just
full
like
house.
everyone on the day, just like all in good spirit. Like let's have the competition.
Who's favourite? Who's favourite for that game? Would you think? Wrexham have got the better squad, haven't they? If you look at it on paper.
Yeah, I think
I don't like the.
I think Shrewsbury will win. I think they'll beat them.
I hope they do as well.
Yeah. Oh, they've got to, otherwise flipping.
It's a great in the Sun and Newcastle as well. Like it was a great draw that.
They put some stinkers on TV. You know, like on
What's
BBC and
on
ITV. I'll have to have a look. Do you know where? We'll have a quick look. Because I'm sure there was like something like Arsenal v Burnley, or it was something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Week, isn't it? Sun and Newcastle's got to be on there, surely.
You'd have thought so. That is huge, isn't it?
And like even like George Ellacobi's manager at Maidstone,
Yeah.
and they've made it through. They're not on the telly, I don't think. Little things like that. Sort of the FA Cup's all about, isn't it?
So we're going to that. We're going to that then, aren't we? Us three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to? Can we do it? Are we going to do a little recording or something of the sort?
Yeah, we'll do something. We can get you at half time or something, can't we?
We might try and organise something before as well.
Good idea.
Possibly like a bit of a live podcast, the FA Cup
Behind the scenes.
Good, wouldn't it?
special.
Get us in the change room.
Is there anyone else who's played for both? Obviously, apart from me.
Mossy?
Mossy?
Mossy, yeah. We'll get Mossy on. Anyone else? Anyone else, Wits?
We've got one.
Wits isn't helping us much, is he?
Richard Hope.
Who were we talking about the other day who was assistant manager for a little bit?
Richard Hope.
Andy Morrell.
Andy
Andy
Morrell.
Morrell played for Shrewsbury, did he?
He was assistant manager at Shrewsbury.
Yeah. Hope he played, didn't he?
Hope
He'll be on the
Ashley?
Royal Rigs now, isn't he? Ashley.
Neil Ashton.
Did
He
he
was
play
at
for
Wrexham,
Wrexham?
wasn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, Ashley was.
No. Oh,
Yeah,
he was. I remember bullying him at a corner.
That'd be good then. So lots of look
He got the right up. We were at a corner, and obviously we played against
Why
Wrexham.
is Ashley Mark?
Well, that's exactly. I went to him. What are you doing? And you know what he's like? He's proper like little pit bull, isn't he?
Game face.
And I was going, "What are you doing?" And he's like,
What are you going to do?
he's like, "Fucking marking you, lad." And I was like, "You ain't marking me, mate." He come to the back post. Yeah. Hey, you want to do a bleep test? You'll win, but you ain't going to win this one. And then he's come to the back post. I've gone right all over him like that. He's flipping, and then he's having a go at them, going, "Why am I marking him?"
I'm not marking him. What are you doing? Where's the centre off? Centre off, mark centre offs. Like,
I think
I
Ashley-
hate that when they try and get you marked.
I think Ashley was playing. He might have been playing left of a 3 then as well. I can't remember, or left back.
That's why I put him on there. Did you used to
He's good in the air though, Ashley, wasn't he, for a fullback? But
if you fight,
But there's levels, isn't there?
Against someone who's 6'4", you're probably going to lose the header, aren't you?
Yeah. And obviously my spring and all
and
that.
because of your spring as well. What about you, Dave? Obviously you were good in the air. Did you used to mark from corners against?
I used to usually be like front space or
Yes, all day,
that's
that's you.
Just going as
heading it away.
Yeah.
Haaland does that.
I wasn't a great marker. I was more better at
Switch
getting
off.
away from people. No, getting away from, just used to panic. But in terms of reading the flight and going ahead, I was better at that than actually trying to stay with someone. And
I used to love it.
I used
First
to hate
contact, both
marking.
boxes.
I used to absolutely hate
But
marking.
I don't know what. I know some of you might have done zones, but we used to you'd have the initials and you'd have who you were marking beforehand, and it was horrible, wasn't it? If you ever I didn't used to mark, sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. You were marking someone and they'd score, and you go, oh, everyone, whose man is it? Whose man is it?
And you're just walking back.
Be like, someone, Sam's. I'd be like, oh, man. You couldn't lie because he was up there. And you'd come in at half time. Gaffer, whose man is it? Like, on the board, whose man is it?
Doing that on yours there, like rubbing it out with your thumb.
Like in the changing room, a white man off the board before the gaffer comes in. I think his letters, man. What happened, Sam? Oh, I don't know.
I always used to feel very because obviously I expected to get the first contact from every corner in both boxes, so that was a big part of the game.
But even though, regardless, you'd go for the ball. Because what happens if it's you're going to have to leave your man there?
If it wasn't totally in the vicinity, then no. But more often than not, it's always sort of I always think if you're on the penalty spot and you've got the back post, it's almost sort of in that sort of area there, isn't it, that they direct it. So always, and like I'd call it pulsing. So you have your arms out like that. So if they try to run off the back of you, just run into your arm. If they're going that way, but then to be honest, a couple of times I've just released myself because I think no one's going to head that more than me. No one's going to be able to get first contacts higher than me. So I just used to release myself and just.
Then just get bodied on the way and don't get there.
Yeah.
And your man's at the back post.
Eating mud on the floor, going, where is it? Where's the ball? Yeah, I think the biggest satisfaction I got, you remember that Kovac who was at Luton, the centre half, and I remember he was like really dominant at the time, and like the gaffer was like, look, he's getting a lot of first contacts, like he's a real problem, like they're very, very good. Luke, okay, no problem, and I just thought he's getting it. And I just made sure that I like absolutely dominated him, and he was just Luke because he was a big, strong lad, wasn't he? So you did if he got hold of you, got his arm across you, you're in trouble. But I used to just stand off him a little bit and then get the run, and I just kept going over the top of him, and he was like literally couldn't find me, and I just kept making sure I was a little bit just off his shoulder, and then I'd make the run and get the header. And I remember that one; that was a satisfying.
You could jump though, Gav, couldn't you? As well, in fairness, like you weren't like.
It was always frustrating. There's two things. It's always frustrating because when you're 6'5", they always go, oh yeah, you should win the header. And it don't work like that because I remember playing years ago against Woking, and I remember this little lad on the wing, and he was unbelievable. Like we have it now, Cosmos, who plays for me. We hit him from goal kicks. He's like 2 foot tall, and his leap is frightening. So there was one that, I used to be like, I can jump as well, like but then the other thing was as well, a lot of my headers, more so from like a goal kick or something, would be just planting yourself, getting your arm there, and just like punching the ball back. Yeah, not a lot. You wouldn't do a lot of jumping from there. It would be more so set pieces. But yeah, so I used to be a bit like. It's not just because I'm 6'5". Like you have to be able to plant yourself and get your arm across, and then you have to be able to jump as well. So it wasn't.
I think I was because I'm sort of 6 foot. I would never ever win a header by towering over someone. Usually, like especially if I've ever scored a header, it's never from being up above someone. It's always being in front of them. Do you know what I mean? Trying to just get in front and get a nick or something like that. But yeah.
Just pass people on.
Yeah.
Gav, 2 runners. Head this up, Gav. I'll be on the halfway line, mate.
I'll tell you.
Head it. I'll be like Abby stood on the halfway line, bollocking the defenders for not winning. He's not going to win a header. You couldn't help Sam any time you want.
The worst one to ever like Mark was Jason Lee. Remember Jason Lee that was at Forest and all that, and he snapped my cheekbone, didn't he, when I played at Shrewsbury, and. He used to do this thing, it was horrible. The ball used to go wide and he'd be at the front post, and he used to turn and he used to get his forearm across his face like that and just run at everyone. And if you got in his way, he'd just trample all over you. So you'd have to sort of back off, go, shit, he's coming at me. And you'd back off, and then he'd just turn, and that's only then when you could get across him and head the ball. But yeah, he was a bloody night. He literally would elbow his nan in the face, I would imagine. He proper done me.
Right then, lads, I think that pretty much wraps it up. What time are we on there, Scott? How long's that? About 50 minutes. 50 minutes. So what have our predictions?
Yeah.
Season as a whole, I mean, for our teams, I don't know. Remember, we'll fly, weren't we, at the time? Preston were top, Brackley were top. Dave said Wolves were top.
Brackley will come good as well.
Brackley are going to come good, aren't they? You said first, didn't you? You said win it.
New year. Yeah, we've had a little time just to develop, and lots of new things going on, new medical staff, new players, trying to create a culture in the club.
Do you need me and Dave to come down there on the staff?
Yeah, I need a number 4. And I need a
life coach.
I need a kid.
You need a life
coach. But yeah, I feel like we've not had a lot of fortune without doing the worries me. We've been very dominant. We're very, very good side. We're getting a lot of compliments from the opposition, but it is about results. So we do have to start putting teams to the sword, because we do have a lot of chances that we don't convert. And again, like, unfortunately, if you miss chances, it gives the opposition like the motivation, and it gives them the uplifting feeling that it's going to be their day. But we're a very, very good team. We just need to start putting teams to the sword now, which if we do, then I'll stick by.
If you need someone to get on the end of crosses, mate, and that's winter, not as much golf being played, I've got a few free weekends, mate.
I feel for the boys.
Once I get to spring, though, then
it's hard because.
Dave, could you do a job for them though? Like,
now
legs would be done.
I don't know. I don't think so now. No. Because I do think it goes quickly. Could Dave now, if you went into camp for 6 weeks to get yourself going again and to get yourself to that level?
He's the fittest he's ever been.
I know he's in unbelievable, but you know yourself, it's like. You always think that, don't you? I just think the lads at that level now, they like it's literally like the conference used to be in our day. Like it's like they're all physical, sharp, talented. We're a very.
Done my best, Dave, but
I feel
I
I feel for the lads because like it's hard at the moment because if you're not playing very well as a manager, you can do something. The one thing you can't do is you can't do anything about the both boxes, can you?
No.
Well, you can. You can do a lot of work on finishing.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of shape, light and all that. But we're very good defending our box, and it's just that final bit that you can't do. So it's hard to critique the players because they're doing everything that we want them to do. Performances are through the roof. But I just showed you that 5-minute clip there of us just missing chances on Saturday, and the lads know. So they're all feeling like they just want to get back to Saturday. But I just have a feeling that it'll kick on. And I know that's a big statement, but I think getting into the new, if we have a good couple of results now, getting into the new year, I think a little bit like I was saying about Man City, not that we're anything like that, of course, but I think we could motor.
Yeah.
Just got to start finishing. Start finishing.
Right, everyone. Well, thanks very much for coming today.
Thanks for having us at Bowbrook.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having us here, mate. It's absolutely amazing.
Are we squeezing in a pint afterwards as well?
Planning meeting.
When does this go out?
New Year.
Yeah, we'll have a pint.
And any guests that we went. And then we're sort of, obviously we're trying to want to tell funny stories, but it's quite good having Drew on there. And I think a lot resonated with a lot of people. So there's other people, that it would be quite good, wouldn't it, to have people like that on again?
And I'll hold my hands up as well. Remember when we were on the way there, and I watch a lot of Drew's stuff prior to, obviously, our podcast with him. And I said, I wonder whether he's just a bit Hollywood, whether a lot of it's for show. And actually, when we were with him, definitely that's not the case. No. He is literally, from his own experiences, he really believes in what he's saying, enjoyed it.
How sorry, we're supposed to wrap the podcast up now, but how funny when he was... Because he obviously how he makes his money now, he's got to sort of be confrontational and call out nonsense. Yeah. And he said that sports scientist from Wrexham went, "Hey, Tin Hog's really got Rashford going, hasn't he?" And he went, "Nah, it's nothing to do with it." Just like killing him dead. He went, "No, but we'll have to get Rashford." He's going, "Nah, it's nothing to do with it."
To put context on it, wasn't he in like a hospitality at Man United?
Yeah. Hey, just making small talk. Hey, we've got Tin Hog's got Rashford going. Nah, he hasn't nothing to do with him. They killed the conversation.
Everybody's like that around the table. Oh no!
Everyone else is cringing, going, "Oh no."
But he's worked with people who are done and dusted. I can't remember who he spoke to.
He spoke to a few off air, didn't he?
But I look at some recently who are absolutely dead and buried, absolute shell of themselves, getting pelters week in, week out, and all of a sudden, since he's been working with them, and he's doing Southampton. He's at Southampton at the moment. And the run Southampton on at the moment is just incredible. And
again, this is what we were saying about the components of a football club. You've got to have the right people, the right culture around it. Yes, good budget, good playing budget, good budget for the club for it to run sustainably. Good players, good people behind the scenes. It's all plays its part, doesn't it? And he is. I definitely think he'll be having an impact on them lads.
Yeah, and it comes from the leader as well.
Yeah.
Brave enough to have people like
Russell Martin been also having that.
Because he's an alternative, isn't he?
Got Drew in, who's older than him, and he's going to speak one-on-one with the players, and he's going to go, "This is nonsense. Forget what the gaffer's saying." You think that's a brave.
A lot of trust there, isn't there? There's a lot of trust.
It's like me. You get me and Gav, and I come down and go, "Ignore what Gav says."
Yeah.
To the lads.
Yeah.
Just do your thing.
Do your thing.
Again. Yeah. Sam, no, don't say that.
Right, thanks very much for listening. Thanks to our sponsors,
Thank you.
Budgeon. Are they going to sponsor us 2024 Budgeon?
I think we need to take them out for a drink, don't we? Have a good conversation with them. But I think they're loving it. I think they're loving listening to the podcast, which is amazing.
Thanks very much for listening, please. Thanks very much for listening, please.
Subscribe.
Thanks ever so much for listening, please. We're on Twitter @InTheStiffs, Instagram @InTheStiffs, YouTube @InTheStiffs, and email us at inthestiffs@gmail.com.
Later.
I'm good for something. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
In the Stiffs with Budgeon Motors. Budgeon Motors are on Stafford Park in Telford and Featherbed Lane in Shrewsbury. For all your car needs, contact Budgeon now.